Hello and welcome back to the Peach State Prime Transformers channel. I'm Warren.
I'm Landon.
And we're back with another Transformers Cyberworld toy review. And if you can't tell who it is, Landon's holding him. Who do we have?
Soundwave.
Yes, the one and only Soundwave finally makes his debut in Transformers Cyberworld, but not as we've ever seen him before. And I know this is a toy I'm seeing at the time of recording that a lot of people are discovering for the first time out there. We did see him previewed at Toy Fair earlier this year. But Soundwave also made, at the time of this recording, Season 2 just started of Cyberworld on YouTube. And at the very end of that episode, Soundwave makes his appearance. So, figured it was the perfect time, and Landon just got this figure, so the perfect time for this review. So I hope you'll stick around and learn about the newest version of Soundwave to hit the market.
By the spires! Is that? Surely it isn't.
Soundwave.
Alright, so first things first, Soundwave is a very big figure, a very big addition to the Cyberworld lineup. He's at in the US, he's at a $35 price point, which is, I think the only thing we've ever had larger so far is Scorponok, because the new Bumblebee, I believe...
I think the Bumblebee is around the size of Scorponok.
Okay, so the new Bumblebee may be a little larger if you haven't seen that on a shelf yet, but you will.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so this is a very large, the largest Decepticon right under Scorponok.
Yeah.
So, Landon, if you give us a 360 review, or view rather. So, as you can tell, Soundwave this time around does turn into a nautical vehicle / creature of sorts. We'll say a mechanical sea creature. And which makes sense because he's a robot in disguise.
Wow!
Not that it's so much a disguise in this case. But Soundwave, you know, he does carry over his classic primary color scheme of, you know, kind of a gray, a lot of blue, and some red highlights along with some yellow.
The face is similar.
And we have Soundwave's head, which, you know, he does have that familiar kind of Decepticon symbol shape to his head, except he does kind of have these lines on his faceplate, which in the show, it looks like, you know, it actually... almost like teeth or almost like squiggly like wave lines so far.
And he also has like this crown.
And yeah, one accessory he does have is this snap-on armor / crown. And Landon's not going to get this reference, but the first thing I think of two things when I see this. I think of the Stonecutters episode of The Simpsons, you know, where we do. And then the other thing I think of is the Graham Poobahs from the Flintstones. So, you know, I'm not going to lie. I think this looks a little silly on Soundwave. Albeit, you know, cool, clear purple plastic. It does make me laugh.
Yeah.
He does have, you know, he does not have, you know, elbow articulation, but arms do move back and forth.
Also, it can, like, go closer, like, let's say he's gripping onto Optimus Prime.
So these tentacles are very bendy and grippy, almost like rubberized pipe cleaners, I guess is the best way to describe them. And yeah, he can catch other figures, you know, in his tentacles, which frankly, that's pretty cool. That's a cool play feature.
Also,
and then his other hand, he has other tentacles that will spin for you.
Yeah. Also, he can hold 2 figures at once. Let's just pretend he's holding him and he's not deciding to fall off.
Okay. Well, we've done it before. We know it works.
Yeah.
Anyways, he does have some knee articulation, which is nice. You know, it's not really ratcheting, but, you know, it'll work. Now, you know, obviously the tentacles are supposed to be, you know, kibble akin to his robot mode. There is this large, I'm going to call it a fish head on his back. It's this huge backpack. However, it is removable. If you could take that off, Landon. And it makes Soundwave a lot slimmer. See?
Oh my gosh.
And what we've discovered is that, and I don't know if this was on the package or not, but this can be used kind of like some of the pieces that come off of Scorponok. We'll use Optimus, even though he's an Autobot here. So you have kind of this platform you could put, you know, a smaller Cyberworld figure on. Or you could even sit them down in here, close this, and they have like a little mini sub.
It'll be a big sub later.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So that's pretty cool. And of course, if nothing else, you can have this fish head to the side and sing the classic Barnes and Barnes song. You know, fish heads, yummy, yummy fish heads. Or roly-poly fish heads.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yep, that too. Let's do some comparisons here. So the first one, let's do a Cyberworld comparison beyond Optimus.
Yeah.
So we have Cyberworld Scourge here, which also falls into this nautical theme. Speaking of SpongeBob, you know, I made a meme and posted it on Facebook of a pirate photo from SpongeBob, you know, saying, "Are you ready, kids?" or "Are you ready, bots?" Anyways, these two do kind of complement each other through that clear purple kind of snap-on armor.
Yeah.
You know, Scourge is a larger Cyberworld toy, and you can see how much taller Soundwave is compared to him for just, I mean, Soundwave is $15 more, but you do get, as I like to say, a lot of figure for that.
Let's do the scale comparison.
And then there's a regular, I guess, basic Cyberworld figure, and for about $10. So you see how much smaller that Optimus is.
And he can also use Scourge's knife gun, whatever you want to call it.
Or sword gun.
Sword gun. Anyone can be a pirate.
That's right. So that works pretty cool. Yeah. So for a next comparison, let's compare Soundwave to who else? Soundwave.
Donald Duck.
So here is the War for Cybertron Trilogy Generations Soundwave, and I here, let's turn them toward the camera here. You know, and any Soundwave that turns into the boom box is going to be you know, accomplishing the same thing, so we're just going to use this one. And not so much size, but you know, this, you know, Soundwave still has his, I mean, they're different shades of blue, but you can tell who it's trying to be. You got the yellow represented around the tape door, and of course the chest here on Cyberworld. You have these yellow accents on the shoulders that you don't have in the original, but that's fine. The arms are going for that animation look of G1 Soundwave, which this one does not have the red stripe on. But you can see it, you know, it's representing the classic Soundwave while trying to be something new still.
Yeah.
And then we also have the other War for Cybertron, the video game generations figure of Soundwave. And I thought this one was interesting to compare because, you know, this one is a bit more of a different design than, again, just a boombox. You have like this big, almost like claw here. So it's another departure from your classic Soundwave. And, you know, you kind of see maybe a few influences here and there as well. And then one final comparison I had to do was the Cybertron Soundwave here, which, again, was a radical departure from the classic boombox design of Soundwave. And honestly, even though this one is a jet, I think it's the closest to what we got here in Cyberworld. I mean, you know, maybe some of the more, you know, curvature to the design might have been influenced, and we even had some clear purple on the gun here, and some other places on this design. And no, I don't think it's an outright homage, but I'd say this is the most we had to a previous Soundwave that's like this Cyberworld toy. So that's enough comparisons. We could be here all day.
I could do this all day.
Yeah, comparing Soundwave to Soundwave.
The Soundwave to Soundwave.
I think it's time to look at the alt mode. Landon, could you transform this for us?
Yep.
And is this one pretty easy to do?
Yes. Whoa. That wasn't supposed to happen. There we go. It's easy to do off camera, but on camera.
All right, so here we go. So we have this very strange sea creature slash sea vehicle. Honestly, I'm not really sure which it's supposed to be. And again, I believe you could open up the mouth here. Yep, and you can either capture or eat other figures or have them pilot this as like a sub. If you want to show that.
Yep.
And again, some figures are probably going to fit better than others.
Yeah.
And see, you can see the figure through the window there. So that's a neat feature.
Yeah.
Now, look, I know a lot of collectors are, you know, I've seen a lot of laugh reactions to this or, you know, laughing at this alt mode. But honestly, again, you got to remember, Cyberworld is that line that's supposed to be played with, not stand on a shelf. And there's a lot of play potential. We showed all the different ways you can use kind of the cab or head. You still got the capture gimmicks on it. And that spins, you know, you can spin it like it's traveling through the water. So this is a really fun toy. And again, at $35, it's not bad. And it looks pretty decent in bot mode. And frankly, even this mode. For comparison's sake, I mean, there's not much that's similar to this. The closest thing I can think of is a Sharkticon. Which this is the Studio Series Gnaw figure here. And, you know, I mean, they can be long-lost relatives. Why not? Especially when you look at the teeth here. So, again, I'm not really sure this is more of I believe this is probably more of a shark or big piranha. But then you got tentacles. So, it's a mismatch of various sea creatures.
The box just said submarine.
Or submarine. There you go. So, officially, he is a submarine. Size comparison to Energon Strike Optimus Prime.
So tiny.
Yeah, he dwarfs him. So again, that's why I'd very much. I mean, it's a little bit. It's a little bit smaller, but I would consider Soundwave to be kind of the new Scorponok in a sense. At least in the show, he does seem rather large and imposing in his very first, albeit brief, appearance. You know, and he does have, you know, some of those Soundwave cues that we've come to love and expect. You know, you have the clear window here, which is kind of like the clear window on his chest, slash, you know, the door on the boombox mode. One thing I do want to point out is that the head, that silly hat, can stay on him in this mode. And again, I'm sure you could click that and any of the other pieces from this figure and other figures all over. Again, plenty of play potential here. Landon, anything else to say about this submarine?
No, and you were talking about other parts.
Yeah, perfect example. That's Scourge's sword. So, you know, it's fun when you have stuff that's interchangeable.
We
and
stealing his sword.
Yeah, probably one of the coolest accessories so far. So, if nothing else, let's go ahead and give our final thoughts here. We'll get them back in bot mode. Alright, so here's Soundwave back in his robot mode. I just gotta say, especially when you put him in a dynamic pose like this, and again, you're a little limited when it comes to a Cyberworld toy, but just how he has that one tentacle arm or hand wrapped around Optimus Prime there, or Energon Strike Optimus Prime, it looks really cool. Almost looks like a comic book cover. So I do think that's pretty cool, albeit, again, with the Pope hat that he has on. So I think this is absolutely, you know, again, if you're trying to collect all the figures or just some cool ones, for $35, this is definitely worth the pickup. Landon, what else you have to say?
It's a really cool figure, and if you don't like the Pope hat that much, guess what? It can come
That's my
off.
only critique of this figure is I think that hat looks silly, but we'll leave it on here.
It can come off,
but it can come off. All right, so this has been our review of Transformers Cyberworld Soundwave.
Yep.
Landon, any other thoughts you want to share?
No, I just think he's a really cool figure.
Yep, he's a fun toy, definitely. Anyways, if you did like this video, we invite you to give it a like here on YouTube. And, of course, subscribe to the Peach State Prime Transformers channel for more reviews like this. Also, discussions. Just put one up the other day about Transformers the movie and some thoughts on that. And, you know, anything else, just, you know, any news, anything along those lines that we could talk about here. We'll try to cover it and feature it on the Transformers portion of the Peach State Prime YouTube channels. And, of course, leave a comment. You know, what do you think of this Soundwave figure? Do you think he's a unique update to the figure that's worth, of the character that's worth picking up?
Does he have the touch?
Yeah. Does he have the touch? You know, let us know your thoughts. Outside of that, you can check out peachstateprime.com to learn more about me and my YouTube efforts. And with that, we really want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you have a great day, and God bless.